So now I just want to make sure I go through the exponential examples because some people says, can I do a review about exponential examples? That's equal to a to the m plus n, 2 a to the m over a to the n equal to a to the m minus n, 3 a to the 0 is equal to 1, 4 a to the negative n equal to 1 over a to the n, 8 1 over a to the negative n equal to a to the n over 1, 5 a to the m to the n power is equal to a to the m times n. Number 6, a to the n m equal to a to the m over n. So those are the 5 rules. We're going to go through some examples. Let's go through first example, 2x squared y to the 4th times 4x squared y to the negative 5. Okay. So if I multiply those two together, I write down, I make sure those 2 and 4 multiplied together, it's going to give me 8. x2 times x2, so it'll be 2 plus 2, y to the 4 plus negative 5. And that's equal to 8, x to the 4th, y to the negative 1. But the answer cannot be written this way because you cannot have negative exponents. So it'll be 8x to the 4th over y to the 1. Okay, that is the product rule examples with the negative exponent rule in play. You can try this one. 4x to the square y to the 4th times by 3x to the negative 4 y to the negative 2. Okay, you can pause the video, try this one. And you can unpause it now if you got it right. 4 times 3 is 12. X to the 2 plus negative 4. Y to the 4 plus negative 2. 4 plus negative 2. And that's equal to 12x to the negative 2, y to the 2. That's equal to 12y squared over x squared. Okay, that's a very simple arithmetic, just adding the exponent, but make sure they have the same basis. Now we're going to go to the next question that deal with the quotient rules. So something like a quotient rule says 3x to the 4th, y to the 5 over 6, x to the negative 2, y to the 4th. Something like this. Quotient rule just basically simplify the number, 3 and 6. That's going to be 1 and 2. Now this exponent is going to be top subtract bottom, but make sure my x I written in the top. It makes my life easier. So minus negative 2. And then y to the 5 minus 4, that's equal to 1/2. X to the 4 minus negative 2 is 6, and this y to the 1. And that's the final answer. On the top of the quotient rule, I also like to go over one other things that happen in algebra. Now, in 4th grade, in 4th grade, we talk about this. This is I call it split. I don't remember the actual property name. It's a plus b over c is equal to a over c plus b over c. So I'm going to use that property to help me solve the next problem. The next problem is common, especially on a lot of AP calculus. So 4 plus 6x 4y to the 1 to the 2 plus 9x to the 2 y to the negative 1 all over x to the negative 4 y to the 2 and then let's say 3. So how do I simplify those questions? I usually tell students that you think about this. This is a simple fraction that we always learn that phi plus 2 over 3 is equal to 5 plus 2 is equal to 7 over 3. But we never, usually that we never had to do this. We had to say, okay, well, can I split this? 5 over 3 plus 2 over 3. That's still equal to 7 over 3. So we want to write in this format. It's going to help me. So I'm going to do is I'm going to write in that format. So it's going to be 3x squared y to the 4th plus all over 3x to the negative 4 y to the 2. I'm going to add, not multiplying. So this divided by this plus this divided by this. So it'll be 6x to the 4th y to the 2nd all over 3x to the negative 4 y to the 2 plus 9x2 y to the negative 1 over 3x to the negative 4 y to the 2. Now I'm just going to do quotient rule 3 different times. So 3 over 3 is 1. x2 subtract 4, so it'll be x to the 6, because 2 minus negative 4 equal to 2 plus 4. That's equal to 6. Y to the square plus 2 x to the 8th and y to the 0, which is 1. So I'm going to say 1. And I'm going to plus, well, here it's going to be 9 over 3 is 3. 2 minus negative 4, so it's going to be 6. Negative 1 subtract 2, so it'll be y to the negative 3. So I just do each individual one. Again, 3 over 3 is 1. I don't need to write 1. 2 minus negative 4 is 6. 4 minus 2 is 2. 6 over 3 is 2. 4 minus negative 4 is 8. 2 minus 2 is 0, so anything to the 0 power is 1. 9 divided by 3 is 3. 2 minus negative 4 is 6. Y to the minus 1 subtract 2, which is negative 3. You're going to get x to the 6, y to the 2, plus 2x to the 8, plus 3x to the 6 over y to the 3. Now, I don't need to combine this. The reason why I don't need to combine this is because this is easier to do other type of operation. So this is usually I'll ask when they talk about quotient rules. I'll ask this question because they talk about polynomial divided by monomial, and usually you have to think about the splitting strategy. So we're going to call it splitting from now on. Splitting. So because we're going to use for multiple things. Okay. So next questions. We're going to deal with exponential rules. We're going to deal with power rules. So we already kind of did this one. 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 We haven't dealt with those two yet. So let's deal with this. 2x to the 4th, y to the negative 2, times by 3x to the 4th, y to the negative 4 to the 2. So you would think about those two is going to multiply together, but you have to pay attention. When you look at a math problem, you look at the whole picture before you make a decision what to do. I know it's really tempting, says those two are multiplied together, and then you can square later. But we're going to take care of this part first. So I'm going to do this on the side. I'm going to say 3x to the 4th, y to the negative 2, 4. What does that mean? Square. I'm going to do this on the side because this is a parenthesis times parenthesis, that's multiplication, but there is a parenthesis to the exponent. Exponent is going to take priority. So I'm going to do this part first. I'm going to show you. I usually write down a 1 here to help you. So 3 to the 1 power. So I'm going to place that. I'm going to say, okay, well that means 3 to the square. That's the power rule, which is this rule, parenthesis to the power. You think that parenthesis, this is the m and n. So x to the 4 times 2 is 8 instead of 6. Y to the negative 8 instead of, I don't know, adding together 2. But this is the right answer. So I'm going to rewrite this. I'm going to say 2x to the 4th, y to the negative 2. Now priority is going to be 3 squared. 3 squared is 9. So I'm going to write down 9x to the 8, y to the negative 8. Now I just did this. The 2 I'm bringing to all the power here. And I don't forget write down 1 here. So now I'm going to multiply those 2 together using product rule. So it's 18, x to the 12, y to the negative 10. Now I'm going to use the negative exponent rule because this is negative. I don't like that. So it'll be 18, x to the 12, y to the 10. Okay. So that should be your answer here. And those are the somewhat that deal with the first rule to the fifth rule. Okay. We're going to deal with the last one. And we're going to deal with a really difficult problem. A lot of people have problem with this type of questions. And I already go over several times. The students still don't get it. So I'm going to go over 2 different examples. Hopefully student can understand. So I'm going to go to this question says, and we're going to deal with fractions as well. So we're going to say 32, x to the 1 over 2, y to the 1 over 4, and we're going to divide it by 2, x to the negative 3 over 2, y to the 3, all over to the negative, 3 over 2 power. Okay, so this looks like a very ugly problem. Hello? Oh, hurricane 啊。我看大家都在抢水，他们说 Costco 已经没了，然后那个什么现在好像又限买多少水。不要吧，不要那么紧张吧。但是我这边有1箱水，你可以买1箱吧，我们可以买1箱。OK 好。我们家里还有半箱吧。Yeah， 我学校还有1箱。啊？我学校那1箱可以带回家。不用买，学校的就留在学校买，反正你也要喝。哦，那你要再拿1箱是不是？你可以去奥迪买吧，近一点。OK， 好。OK。我买了牛奶了，所以你不要去奥迪买牛奶了。OK， 好。OK。I apologize. Here I'm gonna simplify this. That's equal to 32 over 2. That's gonna be 16. X to the 1/2 minus negative 3/2, y to the 1/4 minus 3. I'm going to do this calculation on the side, so that helped me handle this type of problem. So it'll be 1/2 minus negative 3 over 2. That's equal to 1/2 plus 3 over 2. That's equal to 4 over 2. That's equal to 2. So that's equal to 16 x to the 2. Y to the 1/4 minus 3. So I'm going to do 1/4 minus 3. So 1/4 minus 3. I need a common denominator, so I need to multiply by 4 over 4. So that'd be 1 over 4 minus 12 over 4. That's equal to 11 over 4. So it'll be 11 over 4. And then that's negative 3 over 2. So now I'm going to distribute the power inside. So it'll be 16 to the negative 3 over 2, x to the, 2 times negative 3 over 2, because they are multiplications. So 2 cancel out, that's going to be negative 3. And then y is going to be negative 11 times 4 times negative 3 over 2. So that's going to be 33 over 8. So it'll be 33 over 8. Now, I need to look at that negative exponent rule, so it'll be 1 over 16 to the 3 over 2 power, because this is all numerator. So this one's going to change downstairs. This one's going to change downstairs as well. And the y still staying on the top. I'm almost done because everything is positive exponent except the rational exponent right here, 16 to the 3, 2. So what I do is I take the 16 to the 3 over 2 is equal to square root to the 3rd power. And I usually told students, I don't know what 16 to the third power is. I've been teaching for a long time, but I don't know what 16 to the third power. But I do know square root of 16. So that's going to be 4 to the third. 4 times 4 is 64, so my answer is going to be 64 y to the 33 over 8 over x to the 3. Okay, so that should be an answer here. So that's going to help you solving other harder problem. I'm going to do one more example, and this is the last example. We're going to change it up a little bit. So hopefully you guys got this. If you don't, you can always go back and redo the question again. See if you can handle it. Because we deal with all the rules now, and we implement all the fraction, which is all the basic math that we did for the first 3 videos, come into play right here. So what happened is here, we're gonna say, well, we're gonna do 64 to the x 3 over 2, x to the negative 1 over 2, y to the 1 over 5, y to the 2 over 3, and then we say the whole thing to the negative 2 over 5. Okay, so this is again another discussing problems that has all the rules that you can think of here. So we're gonna try to start out by simplify this. If I simplify this, I'm gonna get 1 over 32. The top minus bottom, which is the quotient rule. The second rule is top minus bottom. Make sure when you do top minus bottom, write it out. And this x is on the numerator. Y to the 1/5 minus 2/3. And then this is negative 2 over 5. Now I'm gonna get 1 over 32. Again, 3 over 2 minus negative half. So that's equal to 3 over 2 plus 1/2. That's equal to 4 over 2. That's equal to 2. So it'll be x to the 2 and y to the, well, 1/5 minus 2/3. I need common denominator because the fraction are different denominator. So I need to multiply this by 3 over 3. And this is 5 over 5. So that's equal to 15 to 3 minus 10. That's equal to negative 7 over 15. So I got negative 7 over 15 to the negative 2/5 power. Now here I'm going to write down 32 to the first power. So that's going to help you because that power is going to distribute to every term in there. So we're going to do that. 1 over 32 to the negative 2/5. X to the, well, negative 2/5. So 2 times negative 2 over 5 is equal to negative 4 over 5. So it'll be negative 4 over 5. And the y is going to be 2 over 5 times by negative 7 over 15. So it'll be negative 14 over 75. Oh, that's ugly. So this is going to be negative 14 over 75. But it doesn't matter because I'm not going to do anything with it. I'm just going to, is it positive though? Okay, so negative 2. So now it's 14 over 75. So now I can keep all the negative exponent on the sides. So I'm going to say 32 to a 2/5, x to the 4 over 5, y to the 14 over 75. So I'm going to say, again, definition radical. So this is the only question that deals with all the 5 rules. So I'm going to do 5th root of 32, which is 2. 2 squared, which is 4. So my answer is equal to 4 times y to the 14 over 75 over x to the 4 over 5. So that's all the exponential rule questions. Hopefully it helped you. And hopefully to solve some of the question on the test. And this is basic math video number 5, I think.